Hi Conway, so I'm looking at this new iteration of the blocking. I think more or less it works. Now let's see where do we go from here. So first of all, I think it's time for us to do some time sculpting. So I think what you could do is you could keep the pose you have at 17. I think you can keep it some 4 frames longer and see how it works. And so because it feels like we're going up, but then we move a bit fast, so maybe you could stay there a bit longer. Then the other thing is I think we could stay in the anticipation before the jump a bit longer as well. If you look at it, especially from the side view, from this view in here, you see like the creature is fairly big, I suppose, and it feels like this anticipation is fairly fast. So perhaps you can stay there. Now you're staying there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 frames. I think that's a bit too short. I think if you add some more 4 frames to that pose, it will read a lot better. Also, I'm looking at it from the top view here. I think that to do a better anticipation, you could twist the body this direction in a clockwise sense, so that in here you would have more of a character loading the head. I'm talking about the body, of course, so that as it will jump, it will also swing that way, which should give more intensity to the left arm opening up, if you see what I mean. Then if you look at this transition here, we are looking at it from the side view now. You're pushing forward, but your chest goes behind. We've discussed it in our last meeting. I think the chest should probably go forward, if anything. The fact that the chest goes behind and then starts to push forward later on, it's a bit strange. So remember, you're pushing a body forward, so it's in your interest to go forward. So I think in this pose, the chest should be a bit more forward. Now the line of action is a lot better. I think you could rotate this foot this way so that you could even push a little bit further forward. Yeah, look at now the anticipation pose is actually quite better, I think. Now look at the silhouette change. If you track my red lines and if you track your character, with my red lines you feel like the character is pushing forward. With your character, it feels like your character is going backward. So I think you need to change that pose 87 and just push it a bit more forward, both the body and the chest, so that you are stretching the line of action there. Then you will probably find yourself in need of a breakdown between 87 and 91, in which the character is still stretched in the air, still extended as it flies forward. Because in here you just go from kickoff pose to up recoiled pose. So you need to give us a breakdown where we describe how is this guy going to recoil, because right now we don't know. So you're delegating that to spline, but I mean, if you haven't thought of it, you don't even know if this will work in spline for real. It might turn into something a bit confusing. Then in here, I would say if this is a contact pose, you can probably rotate the forward foot clockwise, so that in here you show us the bottom of the foot, because this is just a contact, right? So the heel has just touched the floor, but then it's going to slump. The rest of the foot is going to flop down later on, which will give you the ability to push the leg even more forward, to extend it even more if you think of it. So I would definitely take that option. And in here again, you have the same problem of kickoff to up. You go from up to contact, but it feels like you're doing a contact with you're trying to do the contact with all the legs. I feel like in here you could even think of having the legs, well, at least one of the back legs, a bit to the back, and again, as I said in our last meeting, you don't want to keep this character fully parallel to the floor, right? So as I said in our last meeting, in our last feedback, you want to tilt the rotation of the blades so that they're not parallel to the floor, so that the character is not parallel to the floor, and so that overall the pose is a lot more dynamic. I mean, this shot is all about dynamic posing. You cannot, I mean, yeah, of course you can, because it's your choice. You can leave things parallel to a vertical and horizontal axis. Of course you can, but the question is, do you want to do that? So think about that. Then we are still missing the swinging of the arms. So it is possible. Now I don't know. Now, I mean, in here I think we're missing some breakdowns, so I'm not sure. But you need to find a way to show us that at least the left arm is swinging, because here you have a problem. I mean, it feels like you're trying to swing with both arms from this pose, but really if you check the position of your box, you're really hitting it with the left arm. Also, you want to push the box away with the arm. Right now you're just pushing it away just because you're landing there. I thought the idea was that you would swing it away, right? And I thought the original idea was that you would swing it this way, so the box would be hit right here in the middle of the two arms that were opening up. So I think in here you're not deciding what you want to do there. So my suggestion here is decide what you want to do, because based on your decision you'll go one way or the other with the pose. Now the problem I can tell you I'm seeing is that we don't see the arm swinging, but we see the box going away. So fix that. Decide whether you're slashing on the box with the left arm, both arms, no arms like in this case. Decide when the box actually leaves, because right now that decision is not being taken. There you go. So apart from that, just a second. Yeah, apart from that, I think it's going more or less in the right direction. I definitely believe that between 87 and 91 you definitely need a breakdown, because right now it feels like the guy is pushing and just with the front legs and just take off without the hind legs being extended for real. Okay, just look at that. It feels like this leg at the back is just bent. This is a bit bent too. And then all of a sudden they're already bent. They are bent again. So there was no moment the audience could recall where both hind legs were, or one of them at least, were straight, kicking off the ground. So I think in here you definitely need a breakdown in which the butt is still low down there, and the legs, or at least one of the leg, is still straight, so that we will definitely feel the kick off there. And yeah, and I think you can animate the camera now to follow the jump, so that we can see a bit better what the posing looks like. So that's about it. Yeah, going in the right direction, and you are in need of more clarity in this jump still. You need to work into it a bit more, but apart from that, I think it's going in the right direction. So I think that's it. Have fun.